you hearing me? All right. Oh, I unmuted you. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me? Do you hear me from your end? All right. Now we have to work on the volume because I'm not hearing you from my end.
Yeah, myself, I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Now I'm hearing the other brother there. What's your name, sir? I'm hearing you, but I'm not hearing.
My
So
name is Kesali. My name is Kesali Kelvin Kota. I'm hearing you clear, but I'm not getting Prince.
okay, okay, okay. The same with me. I'm not getting him. So let's work it out. I hope we can hear one another before we um, get into everything.
You gotta check your mic. We're not getting you. Prince, we're not getting you. Yeah. Is the mic on? Check the mic.
You hear me now?
Okay. Coming in small, bit by bit. Yeah. Go again.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All right, so I just want to get your thoughts on the ban of shisha and methadol. So some people is on it. I mean, some people. I think some senator. He's saying that the ban on shisha when cold turkey is that it wasn't the great idea that the government want to ban shisha because it can create different things. People in demand, black market, such and such. So what's your thoughts on that, and how is it affecting the people in Liberia?
Okay. From my side, I would say that a lot of people do not know what it will do to them in the years to come because for one fact, shisha, if you go on the internet or on Google and you do a research about shisha, every haul, every pull from a shisha is like you smoking a pack of cigarette. It like you one hole, one pull is just like you smoking a pack of cigarette. And they are not looking at it now because in the years to come, you'll see a lot of people come down with cancers, cancer in the lung, cancer all over. And most of the youth are just doing it, taking it to be pleasure like sport. But it's bad. It killing people. It will come a time that that cancer Liberia may come number one because what? One, two, they don't have the medication or they don't have the meal to do it like those people that in the Sahara, that in the Arabic world, they don't have that type of stuff to maintain it here. And most people use shisha in Liberia, they cover it up saying that a shisha, but under that shisha, they are doing different things under the shisha. So in Liberia, when we went out to put on work for that say no to drugs, most people since they know that now they are going after the drugs, they may use or they will want to use shisha in the other side to distribute their drugs. So that was a very good idea by coming out to put ban shisha from the stuff because I can tell anybody if you want to kill the snake, you got to kill it from the head. You can't say you want to eat alcohol oil or you want to eat alcohol oil, then you get a red oil gallon. You empty the red oil, you wash in a gallon, then you put alcohol oil there. It'll be the same oil you eating. So I'm actually 100% with them getting away with shisha. Let our youth, let our future leaders, let them be able to survive. Because Liberia right nowadays, hospital is not like before. You go to some hospital, you go to some clinics, they gotta tell you to buy glove. You go to some hospital, you go to some clinics, they gotta tell you to buy medication for yourself. It's not even there. So at least they are looking at things for the future and not for today. Because those cancer will become all in years to come, but not today. So my idea for putting ban to shisha, that's a cool one. I love that.
So what do you think?
Um, can I chip in a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, for me, all of that thing. I would start point to say that in our country, Liberia, we live in a bubble. We live in a bubble of ignorance. You know, a bubble of ignorance where people don't know why things are done. People don't take precaution about anything. And you find a lot of people in the country, especially our youth population, taking drugs. They are not, some of these drugs is in the country because it has to be used wisely. It has to be used for a good therapeutic purposes, but they take it for the wrong purpose. Just because you see drugs, it can put you to sleep, then you think it's something that you need to overdose yourself to keep drunk and to be abnormal every minute. This is what I mean, a bubble of ignorance. So that shisha thing, I think people who brought about it, they brought about it for a purpose. It's not wrongly used in a lot of places in the world, but in our situation, I feel that that whole thing should be banned because it has become a habit that people want to use it for the wrong purposes. And you see, the thing is, you can put a how you call it, incense, something that has a nice therapeutic um odor, whether you want to smoke it, something that will be of good health to you. But if you decide now to start putting the wrong things in it to be used for the wrong purposes, so obviously it has to be banned. I think that is the reason why people of light minded have got together to say, well, let's ban this thing because it is banned for the wrong purposes. So people who will say, oh no, it shouldn't be banned. Well, they say if the fish don't want to be eaten by the cat, the fish should not smell. So people are using it for the wrong purposes, and it is killing the youth. So I support it 100% that it should be banned. Whatever means they're going to find again to misuse themselves by drugging themselves, I think the government should target it in the interest of keeping the youth population alert and keeping them okay and avoiding them from being drugged in that manner.
All right, thank you. So I'm gonna read what the minister said. The minister of health announced the ban last week, citing rising health risks and youth abuse. Shisha smoking was labeled as a silent but deadly health hazard, while the unregulated sales of tramadol has been linked to drug abuse and social instability. The ban applies to all public and private venues which violate facing arrests and penalties. The minister states that tramadol is now the most abused drug in Liberia, contributing to violence, mental health crisis, and family breakdown. Moreover, the college lists on chapter 41, such as the heroin, remains stricter prohibited using prescription by licensed medical facilities. So So what you think about tramadol? Like, I mean, since is that things the one of the abuse drugs? Because it's I think what tramadol pretty much is just one step above Tylenol. So, but how is that? How is young people abusing that in line with shisha as well?
Okay. Let me say this. I have a good knowledge of what tramadol is. Tramadol is a pain medication that that used mostly in for severe pain, used mostly in surgical procedures to subdue pain and all of that. But on the other hand, people get quickly. Yeah. How you doing? We can't park here because of the bus parking lot. You're gonna have to wait in line, okay? Thank you so much. Be careful. Wait a minute. So I'm sorry about that. So tramadol on the other hand, you can get addicted to it. You can get hooked up to it just from using it over and again. So because people want to get hooked up to it because of its effect, people are misusing it. So if you misuse drugs like that, it's not good. It is tramadol is being used for the wrong purpose, but that's not what it was made for. So these are just some of the situations that we have in the country. Like I said, we live in a bubble of ignorance. We don't know why we're doing things. We don't know why some of these drugs are brought or out and what are the uses, but we just want to use it for the wrong purposes. So it's just bad. It is just ugly. It is just ugly that we have this situation in our country. Tramadol should be controlled in that country. Tramadol should be taken out of every drugstore. Tramadol should be taken out of every pharmacy, and people who bring it in should be monitored. I'm not saying tramadol should be taken out of Liberia because people need it. People need it. The hospitals need it. Good hospitals need it. It is needed for good procedures. But if it has to get in the hands of people like it is getting in the hand of people, that should be highly controlled.
So, but so I understand it can be controlled, but how do you think it can be controlled or it needs to be controlled? How do you think the government need to implement that it can be and not fall into the wrong hands
Yeah, that's what I
of
said.
minor?
That's what I said. That's what I said. Importers of tramadol should be monitored, and a government should take a strong stand to make sure they monitor those who bring it into the country, and it can be controlled. It can be controlled. Why we have the drug enforcement agency? Why do we have the pharmaceutical association? These people are people who go around making sure that the right or expired drugs and other drugs are in these drugstores and pharmacies where everything is broken down. The whole system is broken down. Corruption and dishonesty is the problem. So it can be controlled. It can be controlled if the people are willing to do the right thing. I mean, for real, I can say that it can be controlled. We have system that can control that. We have measures that can be used to control, but it must be done honestly and sincerely.
Okay, okay. So, Cassidy, you wanna weigh in on this?
Yeah, yeah. As he was saying, tramadol is a medication that they use mostly at the hospital and thing in Liberia for people that go on a severe pain. I knew a
You come.
lady. Huh?
I
Hello?
think.
Yeah, as I said, tramadol is something that should be used by doctor prescription, right? Doctor should be the one prescribing that, you know. But just as my pop was saying, this can be monitored. This can be supervised. It's not good to take it out of the pharmacy, out of the hospital, but it should be based on doctor prescription. Doctor should prescribe it before you go ahead, because if it is just done like that, or it just have it roaming like that, what exactly happens is that this youth will go ahead, take it, and you see them walking in the street sleeping with their head, even most of them on the motorcycle carrying passenger, they're sleeping with their head and all that. But as he was saying, so long the NDS in the Republic of Liberia having to see all those people that import drugs into the country and monitor their drugs and things sincerely, definitely it can be controlled. But if it is not, then it's difficult to do it, because definitely it's the youth that are spoiling within Liberia, mainly the youth. I think I share a video with you where you will see a human being standing all jelly or zombie, and then all like that, they do it. But so long NDS monitor those people that are bringing in drugs, it can be monitored, it can be controlled. And if only you having to bring in tramadol among your drugs and it's not listed on your medication that you brought in, and they're having to see it, let sincerity be done and let the law be take it course by giving that person, revoking their license and taking them to the law, because what they are doing it illegal. But as I stated, it have to be done from the head, because if it is done with all sincerity, definitely it will float in the street of Monrovia, and all the children and thing, all the youth will spoil. Right now in the graveyard, I will try and go there and take some videos and things, and I will share with you. If you see the people, you see the youth that are living in the graveyard, remove, enter the tomb, remove the bones of the human, and there that where they are laying in the tomb, and they are there having babies. They it's sad. So, and most of the children are people that learn, that know how to speak English well, know how to read well, but this stuff has spoiled them. It make them they go out of hand. And you saw when we're even doing the march, say no to drugs. All the videos and things were putting out, sending the video. I share with you all that. These are all stuff that are killing youth in the country. And we only pray that God will step in, that those that are in authority will seize it and know that it is killing our youth, because the youth are the future for the country. If the youth are dying day by day, what become of the country? Because those majority of those people that bring in those stuff, they don't have their children living within Liberia. They have their children abroad and all that, so they don't care. But we pray that one day God will help Mama Liberia, that will be better than before.
All right, thank you for that. I'm gonna have Jazz elaborate on that a little bit about the drugs and tramadol and what you think about banning shisha as well. So you got the flow. So what you think about banning shisha and
Uh,
what's the drugs tramadol? What can you say about the drugs tramadol?
well, with tramadol,
Well, with criminal,
I pretty much work with
I pretty much work with
tramadol
criminal
also
also
at the
like
hospital, and I work in assisted livings. So we have a wide range of usage when it comes to tramadol. Tramadol is a controlled substance. So those who are licensed to administer that should be the only ones to be able to administer it. And being here in the US, like you literally have to have a prescription. However, um, when it comes to administering drugs, sometimes it kind of depends on the situation and the circumstance of the patient, because sometimes the patient is allowed to administer their own drug. But there's a lot of factors in that. For one, they have to be able to be competent. They have to be able to, if you're given instruction on how to take the medication, they have to be able to verbatim give you that instruction back. They have to be cognitively sound in order to administer that type of medication. Um, but I also will say too that I don't think that is just a situation with drug usage being in Liberia. It's also here as well too. You have young individuals who come into the ED who are overdosing on just all kind of stuff just mixed in because they want to either be accepted, be a part of the crowd, or want to get that high, or want to have fun, quote unquote. And unfortunately, this is the new fun for people, and people are not really understanding the consequences of having this type of fun until it's too late. Um, and even when it is too late, when you see your friends going into cardiac arrest, when you see your loved ones going into cardiac arrest because they want to have fun off of taking these type of medications irresponsibly, it doesn't quite hit home until it happens to them. And I think that that is just a downfall, just straight across the board. And it's not just geared to one space, one part of a country. I think it's just that's just a uh, epidemic. That's just an issue all the way around. When it comes to hookahs being banned, um, I don't know how I really feel about that, but I have had some knowledge of people not using it responsibly because they do use that as another form of getting high. They're putting other substances into that to get the high it is that they're wanting, simply because they feel like, well, it kind of looks like, hey, if I'm smoking a hookah and I put whatever it is I want in this hookah, um, we pretty much can get by with it. Nobody's not going to suspect you doing something illegally, because it's in a hookah and because everybody is smoking a hookah. Um, so honestly, be safe than sorry to save lives. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, honestly. Um, we have too many young people dying at a rapid speed, and just being on the outside looking in and working, where I work and how I work and interacting with individuals who who come into the emergency room who are trauma patients, simply because of these different type of activities that normally should be, something to relax you with after a long day, but people have a tendency to take things a step further, which is causing not only their life but possibly the life of other people that are around them. And it's the lack of consciousness, it's the lack of self-awareness that is the major downfall, and that's just straight across the board, in my opinion.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. But my thing about shisha is not them banning it. It's just the way in which it was banned. I mean, like Jay Fontan Kofa, I think that was his name, Kofa. He said, a former speaker and current District 2 representative of Liberia, he says, to believe that ban will be ineffective due to going on demand. He argued that the government should focus on cracking down on importer rather than the user, warning that no, that banning it will create a black market and empower criminals. So I'm with him as well. In the way in which they went cold turkey on banning shisha will create a lot of black market. Just how when they when alcohol once upon a time was illegal in America, there was a lot of black market. There was a lot of ways people went to. Like when you ban drugs, marijuana, heroin, there's a lot of black market that goes on that other people that explore those things make more money. Like illegal people come in the country illegally. I think all those things gonna create more demand for it because now Liberians, I feel, was a little bit addicted to, with it. And we like bro, we love to have fun. And drinking and smoking little shisha and stuff like that it's a little fun. It's pretty much what we want, what we goes on and do. So I just kinda I'm with him on saying that it's gonna create all those black market and it's gonna create, I think, more of a challenge to the country and stuff. So I'm gonna have a few ladies over there elaborate on what you think. So we're talking about a ban on shisha and metadol. So what would y'all think? Uh, is it a good decision to ban it or is it not? You hear me? Cottage girl. So what you think? So is it a right thing for them to ban shisha?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing because shisha is not actually good. Is it's not good. It destroy the liver quickly. So it quick
So
to
it destroy.
destroy, it quick to damage.
Okay, okay. So
Um,
so in
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I can I chip in a little bit.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So from my point of view, I really want to piggyback on the statement made by my sister initially in the studio there. Sorry, I can't see your name from my phone. But you see, the use of this hooker is just another means of getting the drugs in. For me, I don't really see it as being significant in the fight against drugs because it's like this. If you have a drug, either you can decide to grind it to take it in, or you can decide to eat it the way it is. You can decide to put it in any form to take it in. But the thing about fighting drugs, if we want to talk about fighting drugs, it should be done with honesty and it should be done holistically. Honesty is the bottom line of everything. So if we want to fight it, whether somebody can put it in water and drink it, whether somebody can take it like that and make it out of smoke to take it into their body, it does not matter. But we have to fight it that it should get out of the hands of the wrong people, hands. I mean, of hands of our youth. So, the shisha is just a tools. It is just a common tools. If you don't put drugs in it, it can be in Liberia. Why? If everybody realizes that shisha is never used for drugs, you think the issue of banning will come about? No, it will not. Like I said, that's what I'm saying. It's just a tools that people use to take some substances into their body. Unfortunately, people are putting the drugs into that or something to take it into their body. That's why they're talking about banning it. So it's not of any significance when it comes to the fight of drugs. To me, looking at all of these points that I'm listing, so the fight of drugs is honesty. You see it, fight it, because people want to take it in different forms. Like you heard that people can put the some of the drugs in the cayenne, right? So that's another means. So are we saying that there should be no cayenne in Liberia?
Isn't they got a name for that too? I forgot the name for it. There was
Cayenne,
a name for it.
So, so like I'm just saying, holistically, we should fight against it. Like the tramadol, like I said initially, we live in a bubble of ignorance, a big, big, big bubble of ignorance. Tramadol was made for a purpose, and it is still important and be controlled. People who import these drugs, they are manifest. The government should have a way of looking at that manifest, and there should be certain group of people recognized only to import tramadol into that country, that when we need it, we can go to them, we can recognize them and say we need it, give us this, give us that, and that can be used.
Okay. So before we go to the next topic, I would like to have, so if y'all were to tell anybody in Liberia, what's any advice would you like to give to people in Liberia about Trinidad or Shisha? What would it be?
All right. If I have to give any advice to anybody in Liberia about tramadol, I would say, well, tramadol is not a drugs that you can use for your personal desire. It is not a drug that you can use for your personal desire, because these drugs were made for special purposes, and the wrong use of it can get you hooked to it. You can get addicted. People are very quick to get hooked to tramadol. I was in Liberia. I'm paying the medical fee. I know what it is. I know the use of tramadol. People can easily get hooked to it. But just because the medicine can make you dizzy, make you looking like zombie, it means that it's good for you. So if you do that, you are using it for the wrong purposes. You are, because something they call mental alteration. Anything that causes mental alterations should not be used, because everybody brain not the same. Everybody resistance is not the same. Because you see the body man take the tramadol, he bouncing up and down, he telling you that, oh, I'm good. You go take it. I had a scenario where when this marijuana came, one of my brother went and took that thing one hot song. He started running around. We had to tie him to the pool for hours for him to come to himself before he for that day he never put in your mouth. So everybody don't have the same body build up for these medications. Sisha, I ain't got no advice for Sisha once it is used for the right purpose, once it is not used to drug people. I think it should be. And we should fight the drug pandemic holistically and honestly. For me, that's how I feel about it.
Okay. So Jasmine, you want to elaborate on that?
Um, it's easy to tell somebody like, "Hey, this is not the right thing to do," when you're not leading by example. Um, I don't know if you guys can see in the chat, but I was sitting here thinking that a couple of things. How are these individuals getting this medication? And what type of medication are they taking? Because I just, from here, you have to have clearance in order to distribute, to even pull the medication. You have to sign in, you have to badge in, you have to do X, Y, and Z. You literally have to have your credentials. So I think like so I think that that's the main thing, that we have to figure out how this medication is getting out to those who are taking this medication, who are using this as recreational drugs for starters. But you have to do more than just say, no, this is not the way to go. Like, we literally have to lead by example. Like, pretty much like a venomous snake. You got to cut it off at the head. So that means that whoever is distributing this, it needs to be cut off at the head. This situation needs to be cut off at the head. But in order for that to actually happen, you have to work together as a team. You literally have to advocate for each other. Because if you don't advocate for each other, this epidemic is going to continue to happen. So you have to continue to advocate. You have to continue to speak out. You have to continue to call out those who are in the medical field over there who and ask the hard questions and ask the questions that nobody wants to ask and demand the answers. Like you literally have to. That is the only way that you're going to be able to get some type of groundbreaking leeway in cutting this cycle off.
That is the right question. So, I mean, how are they getting it? But I mean, I feel few ways that they could get it is the medical people not getting paid right, so they're selling these drugs to gain some the money to feed their family. So, or some people just want to just want to share. I mean, I think that's one way. It would be the payment of these medical staff not getting paid on time, not being able to feed their family, not being able to do one or two things for themselves. So they take these drugs and give it out to different people and sell it for a bigger money than what it is. So if that drugs was about $20 now, it going for $40 or $50. And because people need it, they're willing to pay for that. And how they gonna pay for it? They're gonna go back and rob people. This Zoglu and whoever they call themselves, they'll go back and rob people, go out and sell different things, uh, just to be able to make that thing. So I feel now that it's banned, uh, that price might go up. So for now, $50 now might be $100, and then people still gonna get it because now they need it. They in need of it. They're addicted to it. So it's just like they can get that same high back. Everybody looking for that same high. From my experience with drugs, everybody want that same high. They can't get it back, so they're gonna use it with different things. Like you said, people gonna put in cayenne, people gonna put in a bread, people gonna mix it up and with different things. But I'm not saying, because in America we use shisha. We don't call it shisha because we call it hookah. I guess that's what I'm used to calling it. But and I try a few times, and it literally give me a headache every time I try. It make my head dizzy. It give me some headache. So just imagine if you put in marijuana in it, or you put in heroin in it, or you put in even the metronidol, you putting that in it, mixing it with the flavor, and to get that extra high. So, uh, Miss Yata, is there anything you have to say on the ban of shisha, and how does it think is affecting Liberia, since you are in Liberia, and what people saying? Uh, how does people feel about it? What are they saying about it? Is there anything you can elaborate on that to us?
Yeah, Sisha, it's just a bad habit level with the youth. I would tell people don't eat what you can eat. Shisha is very harmful, especially you take it in, it will give you like cough, cold, you know. So it's not really good. Shisha not really good because now the flavor they are changing it. They are putting all type of stuff in it now.
So since the ban of shisha, what are the youth saying? Like, are they being more demand? Do they like it? They don't like it. Like, what the place you at? Are they favor of it, or they just finding other ways to get it? Because I
Okay.
know some people says they're gonna get it in the house now. They're gonna have it in that house, and I know now that people are still setting it, but they try to set it to those that they know. They set to people that they know they're not gonna put them out or let the police know about it. because you know the police will go in disguise to catch those people that are doing it. But now people are very careful on doing that. So now, don't that think that's more sneakiness going around? What you think?
And the only thing right now, like for the business people now, they are like careful. Like for the other area that read by us here, they got a room now. Everything in the room. If you want it, you go there. See. Last night they play a pack, they were smoking. You will smell it. Yeah, so the government has to enforce it like the way they did it just. Though it will not go 100%, it will not go. People still got shisha to their business places. They got shisha in the house. They even smoking all in the bathroom now. Because like the way it used to be outside on the table, they not like that now.
So do you think businesses lose money uh, on the fact that shisha is being banned? Because I mean, no, like we know the businesses we got, and that's one thing we're going to implement because a lot of people is in demand of it. So now that it's banned, and people that have it, do you think they're losing money just by having
People,
by,
people really missing it because like one of the things like it really bring money, fast money. So people really missing it. For shisha, I don't really think that really like the drugs. Yeah. Because even existing before bringing in the drugs, people being smoking. I've not heard that someone died from shisha or for now the one they bring in. But now say they putting shisha on now. I saw something in a cloth like a pipe, you know. So they tell a pipe. They were in a person last night was smoking from in it. So I don't know the name of that.
so yeah, that's my another thing is so because every time they ban one thing, something else pop up. So everybody have a remix
Yeah,
to it. So
I saw that stuff in the garden last night. They were smoking from a car of smoke. They were really smoking. So I tried checking around. I thought I was cigarette, but now cigarette. Almost looking at the letter. Let the letter they can let it fire away.
so if they ban shisha, which is tobacco product as well, don't you think that cigar and other tobacco product might be the next one to be banned?
I sure they coming to that, and even like for the juice they are coming out in the can. Most of it almost like a juice. So if they can pound shisha and they try putting it in liquid now, maybe they will start closing either teaming places or club name. Because once they're taking it from the drugs, they're taking it from shisha and now they want to transfer it in the liquid, in the liquor.
Okay.
Because they got some juice and are very harmful.
Well,
The
you
All right.
men
see,
So
you
now
see. Let me
for
just come in a little bit. You see,
this thing,
like I
yeah.
said, like I was saying that the shisha or hookah is just a tools. You see how people get around the whole means of taking in the drugs into their body, like she's explaining. Is so if you go and ban hookah, say well, it's one of the means. It's just one out of 50. It's just one out of 50 different means that you're banning. And the reason why the businessman will get angry for you banning shisha is because when people sit around it, they feel eh, they feel impressed, they feel that they are in a better place, but it's not it's not really significant to say when you ban shisha, you banning anything, you banning or drugs, or you're fighting against drugs. That's just 50, one out of 50 other means of consuming the drugs. That's what I said. I don't see that whole thing as much significance. You see, so we just have to honestly fight against this thing. People can crush it. People have the drug. They can put in different forms. Put in shisha. Yes, I agree. But what about the other people who are grinding it, putting in other liquor? Some people coming into the place, some right behind some of the bars. In bars, some of those bars, they do the mixture right there. They do the mixture right there and put it in the can. Give it to those guys. They know how do we curtail all of these situations. So it's a big thing. Like I said, we live in a bubble of ignorance. We don't know why we do things. We just want to satisfy this body and not knowing that we are also damaging this body as well by our actions.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks everybody for elaborating on the ban of shisha in Liberia and the effect metrodol had on the body and what it made for. I just feel that the government need to come up with more strategic way to do these things. Because at the end of the day, it's all business. It's all about income. It's all about capital, and somebody gonna have to make money out of it. So either if they're banning shisha and how's it come, somebody will make money out the back end of it because people will still have it in the houses. People will. It's not just gonna, even though it's banned, it's just not still gonna get out of this. It's people still gonna have it. So somebody gonna make some good income out of it. So shifting a little bit now, we're gonna talk about parenting. How is it different from when we were grew up, the African parents, or from a jazz standpoint, from racing in America or other places, and how does it differ? So what we're gonna go. So the word of the day pretty much is parenting, which is the comprehensive process of providing care and guidance to children for their healthy development into childhood and physical emotion growth. So before we talk about parenting, we're gonna go with the verse of the day, which comes from Proverbs 22:6. Said, "Train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it." The quote for the day is coming from Lewis. Said, "Children are not a distraction from more important work; they are the most important work." So people think that children are a distraction from their goals, their careers, and whatever it is, but I feel like me having children as well is I feel having children make you work harder. Having children make you want to do more things that are gonna set you in the right path at time. Because most time we want to do a hot girl summer or a hot man summer, whatever we call it. We want to go out and live free and do what we have to do, but that might not be the right way to live. So when a child come into the picture, now you have to take care of that child, and it's not just about you no more. No, you can't be selfish and just say it's about you. It's about that children now. So in a historic content, parenting preview generation look at traditional parenting roles and expectation in the past, discussing the emphasis on discipline and obedience. So I'm gonna go to Jazz and see how the way she was raised, how she raising her kids, and it's the same and how different and how can it be improved.
Well, for starters, I was raised as a military child, so for me, I moved around um, a good chunk of my childhood. Both of my parents are retired Marines, so I have been able, and I was actually really blessed. Me and my siblings, we were blessed to be able to be in different cultures, be in different settings, and to be able to not only learn to be tolerable, but also to be accepting and and just have like an open arms to those that are different from us. Being around different cultures, we definitely learned a lot. I know that I learned a lot. Um, and that kind of set the tone for who I am and pretty much how I operate in life. Um, I am in a nursing field, so that allowed that actually played a lot in my childhood, being able to communicate with different people and being able to have an open dialogue with people who I don't even know, which pretty much just comes easy to me. Um, Now, as far as me having my kids, um, The lifestyle is different, but it's not different. Um, Pretty much how I was raised, I pretty much just kind of extend that to my kids. Um, to be accepting, to be tolerable, to be open minded, and not to be judgmental. Understanding that there are different people from walks of life who we're going to encounter, but understand that we can always learn something from somebody, just how someone else can learn something from us, just because of the differences that stand between us. So for the most part, my kids have really, well, I have a young adult and a child. They pretty much they do that on a daily basis. I have one that's shy, but I have one who's like me, who would talk to a stranger out on the street just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And that's just who he is. Um, but the difference is that the generation is different. Like, these kids now don't fear anything. Um, Growing up, yeah, I feared my parents. There are things that I know that I could not say. There are things that I know that I could not do. um, but these kids now are very different. They are very opinionated. They speak their mind a lot. Um, it's growing up, I would have never thought of telling my mom and dad no, that I'm not going to do something. But these kids now are like, no, I'm not doing that. And it's kind of like, okay, do you want me to punch you in your throat real quick, or how you want to operate with this? Um, but then again, too, this generation by itself as a whole is different. Um, you can raise your children to be a certain type of way, but understand that once they leave your home and when they're going to school, they're going to work, they're interacting with other people, there is some influence in that. Um, but this is where, the Bible comes into play. You train up a child in a way as he should go. So a lot of times what you instill in your children is going to come out in public, whether they want it to or not. Um, and that's the thing that I've been big on with my kids. Like, I know that even raising them at times that I've had, my downfalls, because, and being a parent, it doesn't come with a book of instructions. You are learning as you go. Every child is different. So you pretty much have to learn what's what. Um, but then again, this is where it's, hey, we need to have a conversation. This is not it. And a lot of times I use my life, going into my adulthood, I use my life as a blueprint to give to my children, for them to be like, hey, yeah, mommy made that mistake. This was the outcome from me making that mistake. This is what I need for you not to do. So, leading by example. I am human. I do fall short from time to time, but I still use my shortcomings as examples for my children to say, hey, mama didn't make the best decision, but we need to do something different.
Okay.
Thank you on that. Thank you and thank you that. Before Mrs. Sung, before you come in, let's get another lady on her perspective on how is parenting different, on her African perspective, on what she heard from Miss Jazz up there about how she was brought up in the military home, and mixing that with how would the African parent do that. So, Yata, can you elaborate on that?
Is it?
On parenting. So how is it different from when you were growing up to what it is now that you can experience on how you raising your children as well? The way you grew up in your family home, and just gonna elaborate how's it different? What do you feel is different? What can be improved? And what are we going wrong in parenting these days? and what's some of the challenges that are facing us as a parent? I know technologies and different things. Most time it's time. You know, most time when we were growing up, your parents will put you out. You go out play all day and interact with people. Now kids better want to go out. They want to be in the house on the phone. They want to be housed on the tablet. Some people could say that's a good thing because you know what a child is all the time. But somebody said no. They being spoiled. Some kids wearing shades too early because of the technologies that face on there. I think, like from my daughter perspective, where they had tablet a lot. So by 11 years old now, she wearing shades, which I'm like, I could say that was the glasses, but I'm not sure. So how can you elaborate on what you think parenting is and how difficult it has been since you were raised?
Yeah, it's not easy to be a parent. For me, I came on a very, very hard way, and I pray to not even bring my children up that way. I ask God for strength, and I ask God for power for long life. To bring a child is not an easy thing, especially like for you just born a child, then no father, no mother, struggling, sending a child to school. Then at the end, some children peer pressure when they jump behind friend, they cannot understand you, so you just have to put your knee on ground to pray for the child until it's a thing to really, really bring a child up. I came up, I came up the hard way. Only mother, sometimes drive from school, sometimes go back in school. Therefore, you want to reach a certain level in education, but you not get it.
So you think because you were raised with no father, so it was a little difficult. That a father does play a significant role in parenting a child.
They got some parents, some children all follow all mother by the grace of God they can survive. But in my belief, I think if I have father, then by now where I am, I will not be there. Yeah, the type of education I needed, I will get it.
Okay, okay, I appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Masan, what's your thoughts on that?
Uh, well, thank you for the question. I listened to Jazz and my sister over there. I learned from them about three things: living by example, um, living a military style, and trying to impart what they got from their parents to their kids. And the question also talk about the challenges, what, how different it is from those days to now. And I would say this before coming to ask just one question. Or let me just ask you a question before I go. Just let me ask you a question. Was there any point in time when you were growing up that you suggested um maybe a career or ask your dad or mom, I want to be this, and they said no, we want you to be this?
No, actually, I didn't. My parents have always been open for us to follow what it is that we wanted to do.
Mm,
They've never been that type to say, hey, this is what we want you to do, so you're going to do it. I mean, they have always given us suggestions
mm.
just
Okay,
by seeing our strengths in different areas of life. But
okay,
no, they've never restricted us like that.
okay. So it's not it's not really about restriction, but I think you said they gave you their honest advice.
Mhm.
They were always there to give that honest advice. That is what I'm talking about. Because what I know is that every kid, coming up, or we all came up as kids and all of that, every kid will not always have the right suggestion, when it comes to career pursuing. Maybe you have not gone deep into it to know what it is with the benefits, the advantages, disadvantages, and all of that. So your parents will always be there to say, hey, though you want to go here, but I think try to do this. I will support you to be there because they have seen a lot of good things about it. That's a kind of parental guidance I'm talking about, and I think you admitted that at some point your parents were there to do the suggestion. That's where we come from. Okay, so now the challenges with that and difference with today, where we say when the child is 18 or he's a grown person, he can make all the necessary decisions, he knows everything. So once he said, I want to be a musician, I want to be out there doing how you call it, riding Uber, nobody should say anything. That's a kind of a situation we're talking about. But however, we all on this platform, I can say we came from the same side. I hope one day in the future we might have another person from the other side who will counteract this argument. Because many times I see a lot of youth, they are going the wrong way just because they are above 18, just because they came up and said, I didn't want to go to school. Just for example. And the parents said, well, you were 18, you grew, you don't want to go to school, that's it. Tell me, what will be your effort? How will you look at all of your efforts you have made from the time you brought that child from birth to 17? Now, at that point, the child is telling you, I ain't want to go to school. That's a no for me. I'm stopping right here. How frustrating it is for parents, because everybody who come up with a child, who brings a child up, want the good out of that child. Because our system, it says, let me do for you that when I get older tomorrow, you will be able to do for me, right? I think that's the idea, right?
Hmm.
If I'm wrong, you let me tell me I'm wrong. But we now the difference we see, we have a lot of youth, we have a lot of kids. The father, the mother, the fathers and kids don't see eye to eye. The mother and the kids don't see eye to eye. And sometimes you wonder where all these problems from. And it is 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Let me say maybe 3 out of 5. We try to wonder, where is this problem from? Is it just because we let a child to just suggest for himself and we just let him go, or we just let him do it, or because they say, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do this, or go and do it, or is it because of human right? We try to sometimes investigate, why is it like this. I'm not saying, because we really, from Africa, we always stand there and say, try to do this. You gotta do this. Look at me, I'm poor. I didn't go to school. I my parents put me on the farm. I didn't go to school, so I expect you to go to school. So just take for example, maybe you didn't go to school. You didn't have the opportunity to get to sit in the classroom. Then you came up with 2 kids. Do you expect those 2 kids to be like you? No. So if you see one of them saying they want to go to school, there where you're gonna stand up as a parent and say, no, you got to go. You know, for so that that child will be a help for you. But we don't see it this time. This is what we're trying to investigate.
So I feel I feel it's different thing that deal with parenting these days. But I still believe that two parent home still is that's where it's still at, because I feel even in America there's no house you can live in by yourself and be able to really be able to take care of that child, raise that child accordingly, and still be able to provide for that child. It's the same thing. So if you, either you're gonna be providing for them, but the street gonna raise them. That peers gonna raise them. That friends, the school, they're gonna raise them. No, we supposed to teach our kids from home first before they go to school. But now we're not teaching our kids from home. They're all being learned from school. They are being learned from their peers. They are being learned from other people that I feel is not conducive to that health. So, two parent home, I believe, is not always the perfect because everybody want to do their own thing. But I feel is 80% is still better than a one person home, because now if it's just the mom, she have to make sure the kids are fed, she have to do other things, and now the kids gonna be trying to do their own things as well, now realizing that instead of them being an access to her, they're being a liability. They're not doing that homework. She got to come home from working all these hours or doing running all around working for somebody else, and then have to come home and ask them, hey, did you get your homework done? Did you do this? Did you wash the dishes? Did you sweep? Did you clean? Instead of her just coming home making sure, hey, mommy, I did this, I did that. I wish she can feel more good, or he can feel more better and say, you know what, I can go out there and do better because my child is taking responsibility. Because like I said, we all raised differently, regardless if we're raised in Africa or not. Based on our circumstances, we all raised different. Based on if you have money, you will be raised different. Based on if your parents have money, if your parents don't have money, you'll be raised still be raised different. So now I just see kids a lot of time, people be like, hey, if you talk back to our parents, back then we'll smack you in the mouth. Yeah, some parent did that, but not all do that. You know what I'm saying? Because most time some parents don't even see their kids. When they go home, that kids sleep. So, but I appreciate everybody for coming up today. That was a good topic. We're gonna continue again another day. I gotta get out of here. But I appreciate all the answers, and I pray that we all can come together to work on ourselves first and work on each other, and just have the discussion on how parenting and how drugs and how we can really make the country we love, Liberia, and other places that we call home as well, better. And hopefully that the government can take some suggestion from us that we can know, because we all have some great ideas. It just have to be implemented into place to help everybody. Nobody else gonna the person that taking drugs would not gonna think that taking drugs away is a good idea, because that's what they need. They take that stuff. They put in that body, that bloodstream, So, and for me being law enforcement, I seen a lot of people how they mess up their life by starting it. Even with a girlfriend doing it, they try to impress the girl, so they do it. Or the boyfriend doing it, they try to impress the guy, so they start doing it. And now they break up, and now it's just hard because now you doing drugs over a heartbreak. I don't think that's healthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different way that a lot of people get addicted, and I feel by just banning something, really doesn't solve the problem. You have to go to the root of the problem and try to solve it from there before you do anything. You gotta go to the foundation. You gotta build the foundation of good strongly before the rest of the building will be able to stand. But if you don't, I don't feel banning it is gonna make anything. I think it's gonna make it worse. I just think more people gonna have more access to it, and I think people that are not supposed to have access to it will have access to it just uh because of the implication and how it will place. Going cold turkey on anything, I don't think that's a good idea. I think it should have been implemented a little by little and officially be banned. But thank you all for coming. I hope we can do this another day, and may God bless all of us and have a great day.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
us. Thank you for having us, and have a wonderful day. And goodbye to everybody. And it's good seeing you guys today. I hope to see you again.
You as well.
Yeah, bye.
So there you have it. On how you heard different people perspective on the implication of the banning of shisha in Liberia, and how the parenting style is different from everybody else. So tune in again tomorrow and see what else you have. If you want to come up and have a discussion with us, just send a link, send a comment, and we'll be happy to hear from you. The more we can hear from each other, we all can learn, we all can evolve, and we all can grow. So thank you once again for listening. Thank you for watching. And may God bless us all. May God bless the great country of Liberia. All right. Have a blessed one.